When your cat looks at you and then walks away, it doesn't feel neutral. It feels personal, like they chose not to choose you. Most people assume it's simple. Cats are independent, aloof, maybe even a little indifferent. But that moment when they pause, assess, and leave isn't distance. It's a decision. And hidden inside that decision is one of the most precise ways your cat measures trust. We'll come back to that moment. Because what looks like rejection is actually a test. This is the part most people miss. When your cat pauses near you and then disengages, they're not losing interest. They're gathering data. Cats don't move through the world assuming safety. They confirm it again and again. So when they approach you, even briefly, they're asking a silent question. Does this still feel safe right now? Not yesterday, not an hour ago, now. And if something feels even slightly off your movement, your energy, your tone, they'll step back. Not dramatically, just enough. Like dipping a paw into water to test a temperature. And this becomes important later, because it means your cat isn't measuring love in big gestures. They're measuring consistency in tiny moments. But here's where it shifts. Research in animal behavior and cognition, particularly studies from institutions like the University of Lincoln, suggests that cats form what's called secure base behavior. This means they use you as a reference point for safety, but they don't blindly depend on it. They verify it. Unlike dogs, who often assume connection and maintain it, cats recalibrate constantly. Their brain is wired to avoid risk, not chase reassurance. So when your cat seems to ignore you, what's actually happening neurologically is a low-level risk assessment. They're checking. Are you predictable? Are you calm? Are you respecting their signals? Now here's why that matters. Because your cat isn't asking, do you love me? They're asking, can I trust how you respond to me? And that's a much higher standard. Your cat doesn't just see you. They smell you, map you, categorize you. To them, you're not just a person, you're part of their territory system. But territory, for a cat, isn't ownership. It's emotional geography. And every time your cat approaches you, they're stepping into a shared zone. If that zone feels stable, they linger. If it feels unpredictable, they withdraw. Sometimes it's subtle. A shift in your scent from stress, a louder voice than usual, a faster movement. To you, it's nothing. To them, it's like the floor slightly tilting. And this leads to something bigger. Because your cat isn't avoiding you. They're adjusting distance to keep the interaction safe on their terms. By the way, if this is changing how you see your cat, hit like and subscribe. Most people never realize this, and it actually changes how your cat feels around you. Cats didn't evolve to trust easily. They evolved to survive quietly. In the wild, hesitation keeps you alive. Approach too quickly, you get caught. Stay too long, you get exposed. So, modern cats carry that same blueprint. Every interaction is a balance between curiosity and caution. And your cat is constantly walking that line with you. Not because they doubt you, but because their instincts require confirmation. It's like standing near a fire. Warmth draws you in, but you still keep a safe distance. Here's something unexpected. Your cat walking away doesn't mean they didn't want you. It often means they did, but only to a certain degree. Cats experience connection in layers, not absolutes. They might want proximity, but not touch. They might want your presence, but not engagement. They might want to be near your energy, but not absorbed by it. And when you cross that invisible line, when you reach too soon, move too fast, expect too much, they retreat. Not out of rejection, but out of self-protection. Like closing a book before the ending gets overwhelming. And this is where many owners unknowingly break trust, because they interpret partial closeness as incomplete affection, when in reality, it's perfectly calibrated trust. So, what is your cat actually testing? Not your love, not your attention, your restraint, your ability to let them come close without taking more than they offered. Studies in feline-human interaction, such as research published in scientific reports, have shown that cats show stronger affiliative behavior when humans allow them to initiate and control contact. In other words, the less you force connection, the more they choose it. Now, here's why that matters. Because every time your cat walks away and you let them, you pass the test. You show them, I won't override your boundaries. I won't chase what you didn't give. I'm safe to approach again. And over time, something shifts. They stay longer, come closer, leave less. Not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. So let's go back to that moment. Your cat looks at you, pauses, and walks away. It feels like distance. It feels like disinterest. But it's not avoidance. It's assessment. That's not your cat ignoring you. That's your cat deciding how much of themselves it's safe to give. And every time you respect that decision, you're not losing connection. You're building it. Because to your cat, trust isn't loud. It doesn't rush in. It doesn't overwhelm. It grows in quiet, measured steps. So the next time they walk away, don't follow. Don't fix it. Just let the moment be. Because sometimes the strongest bond isn't the one that holds on. It's the one that knows exactly when to let go.